Hello there, and welcome once again to the Dozing Explorer. I'm so glad you've chosen to drift and to dream with me tonight. Find your comfortable space and allow the weight of the day to gently release its hold. There is nothing but rest ahead. Tonight, we will take a gentle journey into one of the most wondrous ideas ever imagined. We will wander through the quiet, hidden mysteries of parallel universes. This is not a lecture of complex physics, but a soft, bedtime story about the science of what if. We will drift through the endless, shimmering corridors of possibility and imagine the countless other worlds that may exist alongside our own, as close and as quiet as a sleeping thought. We will imagine worlds almost identical to ours, where the smallest choices led to different days. We will picture universes with softer laws of nature, where the skies are a different color and the stars sing a different song. We will listen for the faint, gentle whispers that might pass between these realities, the soft echoes that might reach us in our quietest moments. This is an exploration of an idea so vast and so beautiful, it can hold all of our dreams. And if you find that these gentle explorations help you on your way to sleep, you might consider subscribing to the channel. It helps others who are seeking a quiet place in the night to find their way here to this shared space of peaceful wonder. But for now, all of that can fade. There are no equations to solve, no concepts to memorize. Your only task is to allow your mind to follow my voice, to drift on the gentle current of these ideas, and to feel yourself softening, letting go. If a thought comes, let it pass. If you fall asleep, that is a wonderful thing. Let the journey begin. Imagine just for a moment that for every choice you have ever made, no matter how small, a new universe gently and silently branched off from your own. Think of a simple choice from this morning, turning left instead of right on a walk. In the instant of that decision, another reality bloomed into existence, a world identical to this one in every way, except in that world, a version of you turned right. This new universe now follows its own unique path, its story forever altered by that one small, different step. This idea suggests that all of your what-ifs, all of the paths not taken, are not lost possibilities, but are real, tangible worlds. Each one as valid and as true as this one. A parallel universe might be closer to you than your own breath, a secret and invisible companion to your reality. It may not be in a distant galaxy or a far-off corner of space. Instead, imagine it is right here, occupying the very same room you are in now, but vibrating at a slightly different frequency, just as a radio station you are not tuned to is still filling the air with its silent music. These other worlds could be all around us, shimmering just outside the range of our senses, separated from us not by distance, but by a subtle and gentle difference in their fundamental vibration. Have you ever had that strange and fleeting feeling of déjà vu? The uncanny sense that you have lived a particular moment before? Perhaps this is more than just a trick of the memory. It could be a faint, gentle, and momentary glimpse into a parallel universe. For a trillionth of a second, your consciousness might resonate with that of a counterpart, another version of you in a nearly identical world who has, in their timeline, already lived this exact moment. It is a soft, harmless echo, a brief and beautiful resonance between two parallel streams of your own existence. Think of space not as an empty, black container for the stars and galaxies, but as a vast, shimmering and flexible fabric. This is the fabric of space-time. And according to some theories, this fabric can be folded, curved, and layered in ways that are far beyond our three-dimensional perception. Other universes, then, are simply other folds in that great cosmic fabric, lying parallel to our own, smooth and quiet, so close that we could almost touch them if only we knew how to reach across the fold. Perhaps the universe is like a great, ancient, and impossibly large tree. Our own known reality, with all of its billions of galaxies, is just a single, beautiful leaf on one of the tree's countless branches. And every other leaf on every other branch is another complete universe with its own stars, its own history, and its own unique story. All of these leaves, all of these universes, are connected to the same great trunk, the same source of cosmic energy, but each one grows and unfolds in its own beautiful and independent way. The idea of other universes did not begin in a modern physics laboratory. It began as a gentle, philosophical thought, a quiet wondering about the nature of what could have been. Ancient thinkers mused that if creation is infinite, then surely it would not limit itself to just one expression, one single version of reality. It was a thought born from a sense of awe and wonder, the gentle intuition that the cosmos must be far grander and more creative than the single world we can see and touch. A parallel world could be so similar to ours that you might not even notice the difference at first. Imagine a universe that is a perfect duplicate of our own in every single detail except for one. Perhaps in that world, a single species of flower in a forgotten corner of a rainforest has petals of a deep and luminous crimson instead of a gentle yellow. This tiny, quiet difference, this one different note in the symphony of reality, is all that separates that entire vast universe from our own. Another universe might exist where the fundamental laws of physics are subtly and beautifully softer. Imagine a world where the force of gravity is a little gentler, allowing mountains to grow taller and trees to reach higher into the sky. Perhaps in this world, the light from the stars is a little less harsh and the passage of time is a little more graceful. It would be a world that feels familiar but is imbued with a sense of lightness and ease, a reality with a gentler and more poetic soul. Listen for a moment to the deep quiet of the room around you. Sometimes, in that stillness, you can perceive a faint background static, a sound that seems to have no source. Perhaps this quiet, ever-present hum is not just the sound of silence. It could be the faint, distant and blended sound of all the other infinite universes, their collective vibrations reaching us as a soft and gentle cosmic static. It is the sound of every possibility happening at once, a quiet whisper from the heart of infinity. Think of our universe, with its entire history from the Big Bang to this very moment, as a single solitary frame in a colossal and unending film. Parallel universes, then, are all the other frames of that film, existing just before and just after our own. But in the great cinema of existence, all the frames are playing out simultaneously. Each one is a complete and self-contained story, a universe in its own right, and together they make up the grand, shimmering, and infinite motion picture of all that is, was, and ever could be. The concept of a multiverse offers a gentle and comforting thought. It suggests that there is a universe where all of your lost things were never lost. Somewhere, there is a reality where that cherished object from your childhood was never misplaced, where that forgotten memory is still clear and bright, and where that opportunity you missed was beautifully and joyfully embraced. Nothing in this view is ever truly and finally lost, but is simply and safely held in the quiet, loving library of another world. A parallel universe does not have to be far away in the cold emptiness of space. It could be right here in this very moment, occupying the exact same space that you are. Imagine it is a world that is perfectly intermingled with our own, but which is hidden in a fourth dimension of space, a direction that we are unable to point to or perceive. It would be a world all around us, as real and as solid as our own, yet completely invisible and intangible to us. A secret neighbor living in a room that is hidden in the very walls of our own reality. Perhaps our dreams are more than just the random firings of neurons as we sleep. Maybe they are a safe and gentle way for our consciousness, when it is untethered from our physical body, to drift and to visit these other nearby realities. The strange, slightly altered version of your home that you sometimes dream about could be a real glimpse into the home of a counterpart in another universe. Dreams, in this view, are the quiet, secret doorways that open between the infinite, parallel corridors of the self. The existence of other universes, if true, means that every single possibility, no matter how small or how unlikely, is being played out somewhere. In some universe, the coin that you flipped this morning and which landed on heads has, in that other world, landed on tails. This simple idea, when expanded, means that there is a universe where every long shot has paid off, every desperate hope has been fulfilled, and every beautiful, improbable dream has come true. The cosmos, it seems, wastes no possibilities. Somewhere in the vast branching tree of reality, there might be a universe where the asteroid that struck the Earth 65 million years ago was just a few feet off course and missed our planet entirely. In this world, the dinosaurs were not wiped out, but continued their long, slow evolution. Imagine a peaceful Earth, with cities of graceful, soaring structures, inhabited not by humans, but by a species of intelligent, gentle, and wise beings that descended from the great, patient dinosaurs. That shimmering, wavering heat haze that you sometimes see rising from a long road on a hot summer day might be more than just a trick of the light. Perhaps these moments of atmospheric disturbance are places where our universe and a parallel one are brushing very close to each other. The veil between the worlds becomes thin and tremulous, and the strange, watery shimmer we see is a brief and fleeting glimpse of the light of another world, another reality, bleeding gently through into our own, perhaps the ghosts or presences that people sometimes sense in an old, quiet house are not the spirits of the dead. They could be the faint, emotional imprints of our counterparts in a parallel universe that is very close to our own. When a person in that other world feels a very strong emotion, a great joy or a deep sadness, in that same physical location, we might, for a fleeting moment, feel a faint, cool, and inexplicable echo of that feeling here in our own reality. Think of all of reality as a vast, silent, and infinite library. The library has endless shelves, and on each shelf are an endless number of books. Our entire universe, from its first moment to its last, is just one single book on one of those shelves. Every other book is another universe, another complete story of existence. You can't read the other books, but the quiet, comforting, and profound presence of all of them, the sheer, unimaginable weight of all those stories fills the silent, peaceful halls of the great library of being. A parallel universe could be a place of breathtaking beauty and subtle difference. Imagine a world exactly like our own, with the same people, the same history, the same joys and sorrows, but in this world, due to a tiny difference in the way its atmosphere scatters light, the sky is not blue. Instead, it is a constant, soft and beautiful shade of gentle violet. At sunset, this violet sky would bleed into shades of rose and gold, a celestial artwork of a beauty that is both familiar and wonderfully, peacefully strange. Ultimately, the idea of a multiverse of parallel universes is a gentle and profound invitation to humility and to wonder. It suggests that our own universe, in all of its vast and overwhelming grandeur, is just one small part of a reality that is infinitely larger, infinitely stranger, and infinitely more wonderful than we can ever perceive. It tells us that our reality is not the whole story, but just one beautiful sentence in an infinite and ever-unfolding cosmic poem. The strange and beautiful world of quantum mechanics, the science of the very small, suggests that a tiny particle, like a single electron, can exist in a state of pure potential. Until we measure it, it can be in many different places at once, a shimmering cloud of possibility. It is not a solid little ball, but a wave of potential spread out across space. This gentle and uncertain nature of the universe's smallest building blocks is the seed from which the idea of many worlds grows. A beautiful and thought-provoking idea in physics, known as the many worlds interpretation, proposes a solution to the quantum mystery. It suggests that when we look at a particle and its position becomes certain, the particle does not choose one path out of all its possibilities. Instead, all of the possible paths are taken. The particle follows one path in our universe, and in the very same instant, a host of new universes branch off, one for every other possible path the particle could have taken. If this idea is true, then a new universe, a new and complete branch of reality, might be born every single time a quantum event makes a choice. A particle of light striking a leaf, an atom decaying in a rock, a single molecule moving in a cell, each of these infinitesimally small events could be creating a new and separate cosmos. The universe is not just branching when we make a big decision. It is branching at every moment in every place from the smallest of quantum jitters. This would mean that an unimaginable and truly infinite number of universes are being created every single second. The cosmos is not a single static entity, but a constantly and furiously flowering tree of reality, with new branches of space-time blossoming into existence more times per moment than there are atoms in our own world. The sheer creative energy of existence, in this view, is a gentle but overwhelming and constant explosion of new worlds. Another beautiful idea, called string theory, imagines that the fundamental building blocks of our reality are not point-like particles. Instead, it suggests they are tiny, one-dimensional, vibrating loops of pure energy, like infinitesimally small violin strings. The entire universe, with all of its richness and complexity, is nothing more than the grand and beautiful music of these tiny, vibrating strings. Perhaps the unique and beautiful scent of rain falling on dry earth, that fragrance we call petrichor, is a kind of olfactory constant, a smell that is identical across a vast number of parallel universes. It might be a fundamental and comforting note in the symphony of reality, a shared sensory experience that connects countless versions of our world. To breathe in that gentle, earthy scent after a storm could be to share a peaceful and identical moment with a trillion of your other selves, a quiet and unknowing act of communion across the multiverse. The feeling of nostalgia, that sweet and gentle ache for a moment that is past, might be more than just a memory. It could be a faint and beautiful resonance with the genuine happiness of that past moment, which is, right now, being freshly and joyfully relived by another version of you in a universe that is slightly behind our own in time. The warmth you feel is the warmth of their present joy, a gentle echo of a happiness that is not lost, but is simply happening elsewhere. A phantom sound, a single, clear note of music heard in the middle of a profound silence, could be a moment of harmless auditory bleed-through from a nearby reality. In a universe just a whisper away, someone might be playing a piano or singing a gentle song, and for a fraction of a second, the sound wave finds a tiny, temporary doorway between the worlds. It is not a ghost, but a gentle, accidental, and beautiful note from a neighbor you can never meet. The very specific and beautiful shade of blue in a twilight sky, that perfect, deep and peaceful color that marks the end of a day, might be the unique and beautiful signature of our own universe's particular vibration. In other realities, the sky might be a slightly different shade, a subtly different hue. The color of our own sky, then, is a kind of cosmic fingerprint, a quiet and constant reminder of the unique and beautiful quality of our own special, gentle home in the vastness of all that is. Maybe true and absolute silence is an impossibility in the cosmos. Even in the deepest vacuum of space, far from any star, there is the faint hum of the cosmic background radiation. And perhaps even deeper than that is the faint, blended vibration of all the other parallel realities. The universe is never truly quiet because the gentle, cosmic music of all the other infinite universes always provides a soft, faint, and eternal background hum in another universe. A beautiful and gentle one, every kind word that you almost said in this life, but for some reason held back, was spoken and was heard. Every compliment you swallowed, every expression of love you hesitated to share, was given freely and received with joy in that other world. No kind impulse is ever truly lost. It simply blossoms in another, slightly gentler and more open-hearted branch of reality. There could be a universe where forgiveness is not a difficult, conscious act, but is a fundamental and gentle law of physics like gravity. In this world, all conflicts, all disharmonies, and all resentments naturally and gently resolve themselves back to a state of peace and equilibrium over time. It is a world where holding a grudge is as impossible as holding a river in your hands, a reality built on the beautiful principle of inevitable, gentle, and universal healing. The idea of a multiverse suggests that no single life is ever truly insignificant. In the moment of your birth, an entire new cascade of universes began to branch from your own unique existence. Every choice you make, every path you take, creates new worlds. Your own quiet and beautiful life is the trunk of a vast and ever-growing tree of new realities. And your existence is a source of infinite and gentle creation in the cosmos. Perhaps our strange and wonderful sense of intuition is a very real and physical process. It could be our own subconscious mind, which is not bound by linear time, gently and quietly perceiving the outcomes of our choices in the nearest parallel timelines. That gut feeling that a certain path is right is the faint, gentle, and reassuring feeling of the happiness and peace of the you who has already taken that path. The very existence of these strange, beautiful, and peaceful possibilities suggests that the universe's imagination is far, far more creative and more wonderful than our own. It is a quiet and humbling thought to know that our own rich and beautiful reality is just one of a truly infinite number of equally beautiful, and perhaps even more gentle, cosmic dreams. The strange and fleeting images you sometimes see just at the edge of your vision, a flicker of movement or a shadow that disappears when you turn to look, might be more than just your eyes playing tricks on you. Perhaps these are moments of a brief and harmless momentary overlap, a single frame from a parallel reality bleeding through into your own. For a split second, the veil between the worlds becomes thin, and you catch a quiet, fleeting glimpse of a world that is moving just alongside your own. There is a feeling that some people have, a distinct and uncanny sense of being watched, even when they are in a completely empty room. This may not be an imagined or a ghostly presence. It could be the gentle, curious, and harmless gaze of your own counterpart from a very nearby universe. That other version of you in that same physical space might be in a state of quiet contemplation, and their focused, inward attention might just be strong enough to be felt for a moment, as a soft and gentle presence here in our world. Perhaps some of the billions of tiny particles that make up our bodies are not as solid and as fixed as they seem. It is possible that for a single trillionth of a second, a single electron in a single atom of your body flickers out of existence here and into existence in a parallel universe, and is then instantly replaced by its counterpart from that other world. Our bodies, in this view, are not solid objects but are shimmering, flickering clouds of probability in constant quiet and harmless exchange with our other parallel selves. The great radio telescopes of the world are always listening to the quiet background hum of the cosmos. Sometimes they pick up faint, ghostly, and inexplicable signals from the empty space between the stars, signals that have no known natural source. Perhaps these are not random noise. They could be the distant, accidental, and incredibly faint broadcasts of another Earth in another universe, a world with its own radio signals and its own quiet music. a whisper of another civilization leaking gently across the vast, silent sea of the multiverse. There is a strange phenomenon known as the Mandela effect, where a large number of people share a clear and distinct memory of something that has never actually happened in our reality. This could be more than just a trick of our collective memory. It might be a moment where a large group of human minds, for a brief and unknown reason, temporarily and harmlessly resonates with a parallel timeline where that event actually did occur. It is a shared, waking dream of a world that is real for someone else. The sudden and powerful inspiration for a piece of beautiful music or a fantastically imaginative story might not always come from within our own minds. It could be a form of gentle and unintentional psychic bleeding from another universe where that music or that story is a real and well-known thing. The artist, in their open and receptive state, becomes a quiet antenna picking up on the beautiful, creative broadcasts of another nearby branch of reality. If you have ever struck a tuning fork and listened to its pure, resonant hum, you have participated in a beautiful, physical analogy for the universe. The strange, clear, and unwavering note of the tuning fork might be a tone that is in perfect, simple harmony with the fundamental vibration of our own universe's brain. For a moment, you are hearing a note that is in tune not just with the air in the room, but with the very fabric of space-time itself. Perhaps the practice of deep and quiet meditation is more than just a way to calm the mind. It could be a method for quietening the loud, insistent noise of our own reality enough to be able to hear the faint, gentle, and beautiful whispers of our other selves. In the profound stillness of a deep, meditative state, the walls between the worlds can become thin, and a sense of a vast, peaceful, and interconnected family of selves can gently emerge. The strange, palpable energy that many people feel in ancient and sacred places, like a great stone circle or a forgotten temple, might have a physical basis in this gentle science. These might be places where, due to a unique confluence of geological and cosmic energies, the veil between our world and the nearby parallel worlds is naturally and harmlessly thin. To stand in such a place is to stand in a quiet doorway between the many mansions of reality. The beautiful and profound concept of a soulmate could be explained in this gentle quantum way. Perhaps it is a deep and unbreakable form of quantum entanglement, a connection not with another person in this world, but with a counterpart of another person who exists in a parallel reality that is very close to our own. The feeling of deep, inexplicable connection we sometimes feel is the resonance of that entanglement, a quiet and beautiful hum that is felt across the thin, invisible wall between the worlds. Have you ever felt a deep and inexplicable sense of missing a place you have never actually been to? A kind of nostalgia for a memory that isn't yours? This feeling of gentle homesickness could be a beautiful and harmless emotional echo bleeding through from another version of you. Perhaps in that other world, that place is your beloved home, and for a moment you are feeling the quiet, gentle longing of your other self, the strange, beautiful, and intricate patterns of a frost flower. Blooming on a cold window pane could be more than just a simple physical process. They might be a visual and physical manifestation of a gentle interference between our universe and another. The subtle, invisible energies of a nearby reality might be gently influencing the way the ice crystals form, creating a beautiful, fleeting, and silent piece of art that is a collaboration between two separate worlds. There are moments in life when we are struck by a sudden, powerful, an almost tangible feeling of a path not taken. It is a fleeting but deep sense of what might have been. This might be a moment where you are feeling the faint but real emotional echo of the you who actually took that other path. For a second, you feel their joy or their peace or their contentment. A gentle and reassuring whisper from across the branching river of your own existence. The mysterious force known as dark energy, which is causing the expansion of our universe to accelerate, is one of the deepest puzzles in science. One beautiful and gentle explanation is that this is not a force from within our own cosmos. Instead, it could be the gentle, constant, and repulsive pull of all the other nearby universes. Like magnets of the same polarity, these great brain worlds are all gently and slowly pushing each other apart, giving our own universe a quiet and steady push into a larger and grander future. A child's imaginary friend is often a source of great comfort and companionship. Perhaps these friends are not always just a product of the imagination. A child's mind is open, fluid, and not yet constrained by the rigid rules of adult reality. It is possible that an imaginary friend is a real, gentle, and harmless connection to a being in a parallel world, a true friendship that exists across the thin and permeable veil, a connection that we sadly and slowly lose our ability to perceive as we grow older. The shimmering, beautiful, and ever-changing colors on the surface of a simple soap bubble are a perfect and gentle analogy for our own universe. The bubble's wall is a thin, delicate, and beautiful membrane separating the world inside from the world outside. Our own universe, in the view of string theory, is just like this, a thin, beautiful, and delicate brain, floating peacefully in a higher dimensional space alongside a countless number of other, equally beautiful bubble universes. The quiet, expectant silence that exists between two notes of music is a space of pure and beautiful potential. In that brief and gentle pause, you can almost feel the presence of all the other possible notes that could have been played. That moment of quiet is like the space between the universes, a gentle and peaceful reminder that for every reality that is, there are an infinite number of other potential realities resting in a state of beautiful, harmonious silence. The strange and sad phenomenon of a phantom limb, where a person can still feel the presence of a limb that has been lost, might have a gentle quantum explanation. Perhaps the brain, which is a quantum device, is momentarily and harmlessly sensing the perfectly whole and healthy limb of a counterpart in a nearby parallel reality. The feeling is a brief and gentle resonance, a quiet and reassuring message from another world where the body is whole and complete. A moment of clarity when a complex problem suddenly becomes simple and the perfect path forward seems obvious and bright, could be a moment of profound and beautiful alignment. It might be a fleeting instant where your own consciousness resonates and harmonizes perfectly with the consciousness of your wisest, most peaceful, and most enlightened parallel self. For a moment, you are able to borrow their gentle wisdom and see the world through their clear and loving eyes. The very laws of mathematics, which we think of as absolute and universal, might be different in another universe. Imagine a gentle and fluid reality where 2 and 2 do not always equal 4, but can sometimes equal a gentle, shimmering cloud of pure potential. It would be a world based not on rigid logic, but on a kind of beautiful, creative, and intuitive poetry, a universe that is more like a watercolor painting than a precise equation. A universe could exist where the rigid chain of cause and effect does not hold sway. It would not be a world of chaos, but a world of profound and gentle synchronicity. Things would not happen because of what came before, but would simply and beautifully unfold in a series of perfect, harmonious, and meaningful patterns, like a beautiful dance where every dancer knows their steps without needing to be led. Perhaps our own consciousness is not a single, lonely point of awareness, trapped in a single body in a single universe. It may be that our true self is a vast and gentle wave spread out across many parallel worlds at once. The you, that is, listening to my voice now is just one point on that great wave, and all of your other selves are other points, all part of the same, single, beautiful, and eternal ocean of your own being. Physicists speak of a mysterious number called the fine structure constant, a number that governs how strong the electromagnetic force is in our universe. If it were even slightly different, our world could not exist. Perhaps this fundamental number is the tuning frequency for our specific reality. Every other parallel universe would have its own, slightly different constant, and each one would be a beautiful, unique, and resonant note in the grand, silent, and cosmic chord. A universe might exist that is a perfect temporal mirror of our own. In this world, time flows not from past to future, but gently and gracefully backwards, from a great and final Big Crunch towards a hot and dense Big Bang. The beings in this world would remember the future and anticipate the past, their lives, a gentle and beautiful process of watching the complex and beautiful patterns of the world resolve themselves back into a state of perfect, simple unity. There is a gentle and thought-provoking quantum idea known as quantum immortality. It suggests that from your own perspective, you will never experience a moment of ceasing to be. In any event where your existence might end, there is always at least one other possible quantum outcome where you survive. The idea suggests that your own personal stream of consciousness will always, gently and naturally, follow the branching path of continued existence, creating a personal story that is, from the inside, eternal. Maybe the sheer, unimaginable vastness of our own universe, the immense and silent gulfs of space between the stars, serves a subtle and beautiful purpose. Perhaps this great emptiness is necessary to gently and safely insulate our own reality from the gentle but persistent quantum pressure of all the other infinite realities that are floating just alongside our own. Our universe is a quiet, spacious, and peaceful room in a vast and crowded house. A universe could exist that is entirely empty of all matter and all energy. It would be a perfect, silent, and absolute vacuum, but it would not be nothing. It would be a universe existing as a set of beautiful, unrealized physical laws, a perfect and elegant mathematical equation waiting patiently in the quiet for a spark of creation to bring it to life. It is a universe that is a pure and perfect sleeping thought. The observer effect in quantum physics, where the very act of measuring a particle determines its state, is a deep mystery. Perhaps it is not as strange as it seems. It may be that the act of our conscious observation is the mechanism by which we choose which parallel timeline we wish to inhabit. Our consciousness is not a passive observer of the universe, but is the gentle and constant chooser of which beautiful, branching path of reality to walk upon. Perhaps all of the infinite parallel universes, when viewed all at once from a higher, unimaginable dimension, form a single, vast, beautiful, and perfect geometric shape. Every single possibility, every single timeline, and every single world would be a single, shining point of light in a colossal, shimmering, and eternal crystal of all that is and all that could ever be. The multiverse itself is a single, beautiful, and perfect work of art. Just as the different vibrations of a violin string create different musical notes, the different ways that these fundamental strings of energy vibrate determine what kind of particle they appear to be to us. One pattern of vibration creates an electron, another creates a photon of light, and another creates a quark. All of the different substances and forces of our universe are just the different notes and harmonies being played in this grand cosmic symphony of strings. The mathematics of string theory, however, only works if there are more dimensions to reality than the three of space and the one of time that we know and can perceive. The theory suggests the existence of perhaps 10 or 11 dimensions in total. The other dimensions are not something we can see because they are thought to be curled up into a tiny, compact, and beautiful geometric shape at every single point in our own space. Other universes might be floating peacefully in these higher, unseen dimensions. Imagine our entire three-dimensional universe as a single, flat sheet of paper. Now imagine many other sheets of paper floating just above and just below our own in a higher fourth dimension of space. These other sheets, these other universes would be incredibly close to us, but forever inaccessible, separated by a dimensional direction that we cannot move in. In the language of string theory, these other universes are sometimes called branes, which is short for membranes. Our universe is a vast, three-dimensional brane, and it floats in a higher dimensional space that is called the bulk. And in this bulk, there could be an infinite number of other branes, other universes, some like ours, some very different, all floating peacefully like great, silent, shimmering sheets in a dark and quiet room. Sometimes, over the course of immense cosmic timescales, two of these brane universes might gently and slowly drift into each other in the higher dimensions. They are not crashing, but are softly and gracefully bumping into one another. This gentle collision of two entire realities would not be a destructive event, but a profoundly creative one. Many scientists and physicists think that such a gentle bump between two brane universes could release a colossal and unimaginable amount of energy. This released energy would be so hot and so dense that it would instantly blossom into a new Big Bang, the birth of an entirely new bubble of space-time, a brand new universe. This beautiful idea suggests that our own Big Bang, the event that created our universe nearly 14 billion years ago, might not have been the beginning of everything. Instead, it might have been the result of two older, more ancient, parent universes gently colliding in that higher dimensional space. Our entire cosmos, in this view, is the beautiful and expanding child of two older, quieter, and now distant realities. The gentle and ever-present force of gravity might be the only one of nature's fundamental forces that is not confined to our own brane universe. It might be able to leak or pass between these different parallel worlds through the higher dimensions. Gravity, in this sense, is a cosmic messenger, a force that can travel across the quiet, invisible gulf that separates the many different worlds. This could provide a simple and elegant explanation for one of physics' deepest mysteries. Why is gravity so much weaker than the other forces like electromagnetism or the nuclear forces? The answer could be that gravity is just as strong, but we only feel a tiny fraction of its true strength. The vast majority of its power is spread out across all the other parallel universes, with only a faint, gentle whisper of its true might being felt here in our own world. This idea also offers a beautiful potential solution to the mystery of dark matter, the invisible substance that makes up most of the mass of our universe. Perhaps dark matter is not a strange and exotic new particle. Perhaps it is simply the gentle, gravitational shadow of ordinary matter, stars, galaxies, and planets that exists in a parallel universe, a brane that is floating incredibly close to our own. We cannot see that other world, but we can feel its gentle, gravitational presence. Hello there, and welcome once again to the Dozing Explorer. I'm so glad you've chosen to drift and to dream with me tonight. Find your comfortable space and allow the weight of the day to gently release its hold. There is nothing but rest ahead. Tonight, we will take a gentle journey into one of the most wondrous ideas ever imagined. We will wander through the quiet, hidden mysteries of parallel universes. This is not a lecture of complex physics, but a soft, bedtime story about the science of what if. We will drift through the endless, shimmering corridors of possibility and imagine the countless other worlds that may exist alongside our own, as close and as quiet as a sleeping thought. We will imagine worlds almost identical to ours, where the smallest choices led to different days. We will picture universes with softer laws of nature, where the skies are a different color and the stars sing a different song. We will listen for the faint, gentle whispers that might pass between these realities, the soft echoes that might reach us in our quietest moments. This is an exploration of an idea so vast and so beautiful, it can hold all of our dreams. And if you find that these gentle explorations help you on your way to sleep, you might consider subscribing to the channel. It helps others who are seeking a quiet place in the night to find their way here to this shared space of peaceful wonder. But for now, all of that can fade. There are no equations to solve, no concepts to memorize. Your only task is to allow your mind to follow my voice, to drift on the gentle current of these ideas, and to feel yourself softening, letting go. If a thought comes, let it pass. If you fall asleep, that is a wonderful thing. Let the journey begin. Imagine just for a moment that for every choice you have ever made, no matter how small, a new universe gently and silently branched off from your own. Think of a simple choice from this morning, turning left instead of right on a walk. In the instant of that decision, another reality bloomed into existence, a world identical to this one in every way, except in that world, a version of you turned right. This new universe now follows its own unique path, its story forever altered by that one small, different step. This idea suggests that all of your what-ifs, all of the paths not taken, are not lost possibilities, but are real, tangible worlds. Each one as valid and as true as this one. A parallel universe might be closer to you than your own breath, a secret and invisible companion to your reality. It may not be in a distant galaxy or a far-off corner of space. Instead, imagine it is right here, occupying the very same room you are in now, but vibrating at a slightly different frequency. Just as a radio station you are not tuned to is still filling the air with its silent music. These other worlds could be all around us, shimmering just outside the range of our senses, separated from us not by distance, but by a subtle and gentle difference in their fundamental vibration. Have you ever had that strange and fleeting feeling of déjà vu? The uncanny sense that you have lived a particular moment before. Perhaps this is more than just a trick of the memory. It could be a faint, gentle, and momentary glimpse into a parallel universe. For a trillionth of a second, your consciousness might resonate with that of a counterpart, another version of you in a nearly identical world who has, in their timeline, already lived this exact moment. It is a soft, harmless echo, a brief and beautiful resonance between two parallel streams of your own existence. Think of space not as an empty, black container for the stars and galaxies, but as a vast, shimmering and flexible fabric. This is the fabric of space-time, and according to some theories, this fabric can be folded, curved, and layered in ways that are far beyond our three-dimensional perception. Other universes, then, are simply other folds in that great cosmic fabric, lying parallel to our own, smooth and quiet, so close that we could almost touch them if only we knew how to reach across the fold. Perhaps the universe is like a great, ancient, and impossibly large tree. Our own known reality, with all of its billions of galaxies, is just a single, beautiful leaf on one of the tree's countless branches. And every other leaf on every other branch is another complete universe with its own stars, its own history, and its own unique story. All of these leaves, all of these universes, are connected to the same great trunk, the same source of cosmic energy, but each one grows and unfolds in its own beautiful and independent way. The idea of other universes did not begin in a modern physics laboratory. It began as a gentle, philosophical thought, a quiet wondering about the nature of what could have been. Ancient thinkers mused that if creation is infinite, then surely it would not limit itself to just one expression, one single version of reality. It was a thought born from a sense of awe and wonder, a gentle intuition that the cosmos must be far grander and more creative than the single world we can see and touch, a parallel world could be so similar to ours that you might not even notice the difference at first. Imagine a universe that is a perfect duplicate of our own in every single detail, except for one. Perhaps in that world, a single species of flower in a forgotten corner of a rainforest has petals of a deep and luminous crimson instead of a gentle yellow. This tiny, quiet difference, this one different note in the symphony of reality, is all that separates that entire vast universe from our own. Another universe might exist where the fundamental laws of physics are subtly and beautifully softer. Imagine a world where the force of gravity is a little gentler, allowing mountains to grow taller and trees to reach higher into the sky. Perhaps in this world, the light from the stars is a little less harsh, and the passage of time is a little more graceful. It would be a world that feels familiar but is imbued with a sense of lightness and ease, a reality with a gentler and more poetic soul. Listen for a moment to the deep quiet of the room around you. Sometimes, in that stillness, you can perceive a faint background static, a sound that seems to have no source. Perhaps this quiet, ever-present hum is not just the sound of silence. It could be the faint, distant and blended sound of all the other infinite universes, their collective vibrations reaching us as a soft and gentle cosmic static. It is the sound of every possibility happening at once, a quiet whisper from the heart of infinity. Think of our universe, with its entire history from the Big Bang to this very moment, as a single solitary frame in a colossal and unending film. Parallel universes, then, are all the other frames of that film, existing just before and just after our own. But in the great cinema of existence, all the frames are playing out simultaneously. Each one is a complete and self-contained story, a universe in its own right, and together they make up the grand, shimmering, and infinite motion picture of all that is, was, and ever could be. The concept of a multiverse offers a gentle and comforting thought. It suggests that there is a universe where all of your lost things were never lost. Somewhere, there is a reality where that cherished object from your childhood was never misplaced, where that forgotten memory is still clear and bright, and where that opportunity you missed was beautifully and joyfully embraced. Nothing in this view is ever truly and finally lost, but is simply and safely held in the quiet, loving library of another world. A parallel universe does not have to be far away in the cold emptiness of space. It could be right here in this very moment, occupying the exact same space that you are. Imagine it is a world that is perfectly intermingled with our own, but which is hidden in a fourth dimension of space, a direction that we are unable to point to or perceive. It would be a world all around us, as real and as solid as our own, yet completely invisible and intangible to us. A secret neighbor living in a room that is hidden in the very walls of our own reality. Perhaps our dreams are more than just the random firings of neurons as we sleep. Maybe they are a safe and gentle way for our consciousness, when it is untethered from our physical body, to drift and to visit these other nearby realities. The strange, slightly altered version of your home that you sometimes dream about could be a real glimpse into the home of a counterpart in another universe. Dreams, in this view, are the quiet, secret doorways that open between the infinite, parallel corridors of the self. The existence of other universes, if true, means that every single possibility, no matter how small or how unlikely, is being played out somewhere. In some universe, the coin that you flipped this morning and which landed on heads has, in that other world, landed on tails. This simple idea, when expanded, means that there is a universe where every long shot has paid off, every desperate hope has been fulfilled, and every beautiful, improbable dream has come true. The cosmos, it seems, wastes no possibilities. There could be a universe where, over the long course of our evolution, humans developed a mild and gentle form of telepathy. In this world, communication is deeper, more honest, and more compassionate. People can share not just words, but feelings and complex ideas directly. Misunderstandings are rare, and a profound sense of shared community and empathy is the natural state of being. It is a world where no one ever truly feels alone. Think of a world that is a perfect mirror of our own, except for one small, beautiful detail. In this world, due to a slight difference in the way chlorophyll evolved, the leaves on all the trees are not green, but are a soft and shimmering shade of silvery blue. The great forests of this earth would be vast, silent cathedrals of silver and blue light, a landscape of cool, gentle, and otherworldly beauty. A parallel earth might be graced with two small, gentle moons instead of our one. In this world, the night sky is always filled with their soft double light. The tides of the oceans would be more complex and more graceful, and the nights would never be completely dark, but always bathed in the beautiful, silvery glow of two constant and loving companions in the sky. There could be a universe where the human body evolved to naturally hibernate for a few weeks during the deepest part of winter. In this world, society would be built around this shared great sleep. It would be a time of deep, collective rest and dreaming, a quiet and peaceful punctuation mark in the year, from which everyone would emerge renewed, refreshed, and ready for the gentle coming of the spring. Imagine a reality where, at some point in your life, you found the time and the courage to learn that musical instrument you always wanted to play. In that other world, there is a version of you whose home is filled with the beautiful, gentle sound of a piano, a guitar, or a cello. That other you has a skill that brings them and others a quiet and profound joy. That beautiful music is not a lost possibility. It is being played right now in another, nearby room of reality. A world might exist where the most celebrated and profound art form is not visual or auditory, but is based on the creation of beautiful, complex, and emotionally resonant scents. In this world, the great artists are perfumers. The museums are silent galleries of scent, and people communicate their deepest feelings not with words, but with the gift of a beautiful and perfectly crafted fragrance. It would be a world perceived through a sense we so often neglect. In a nearby universe, the great wave of extinctions at the end of the last ice age never happened. In this world, the vast plains of North America and Siberia are still home to great, shaggy herds of woolly mammoths, and the forests are still roamed by gentle, giant ground sloths. It is a world where humanity shares the planet with these magnificent giant beings, a world of deeper and more ancient wildness. There could be a world where the natural human lifespan is much longer, perhaps several hundred years. In this reality, life is lived at a slower, more thoughtful, and more patient pace. There is no desperate rush of youth, but a long and graceful arc of learning and growing. Wisdom is valued above all else, and the world is guided by the gentle, long-term perspective of its peaceful and ancient inhabitants. Think of a universe where, due to a slightly different composition of its oceans, the water does not scatter blue light most effectively, but green. In this world, the great oceans and the deep lakes are all a clear, beautiful, and gentle shade of emerald. The world is a jewel of green and white, with the soft, green water lapping at the shores of the verdant continents. A parallel reality could exist where the fundamental, evolved instinct of humanity, upon meeting something new or different, is not fear, but a gentle and open sense of curiosity. In this world, the history of our species is not one of conflict and borders, but one of joyful exploration, of peaceful sharing, and of a deep and abiding fascination with the beautiful diversity of life and culture. There might be a world with a slightly different atmosphere, one that allows for the existence of small, harmless, and beautiful floating creatures. Imagine looking up at the sky and seeing not just birds, but vast, silent flotillas of jellyfish-like beings with translucent, rainbow-colored bodies drifting gently and slowly on the high winds. They are the peaceful, silent ships of the sky. Imagine a universe where every person is born with a unique, personal, and internal melody, a kind of soul song. People in this world might hum their gentle private tune as they go about their day. To know someone well would be to know their song, and the soundscape of a city would be a beautiful, complex, and ever-changing symphony of a million different, gentle, and personal melodies. A parallel Earth could be graced with a beautiful and delicate set of rings like those of Saturn. These rings would be visible from the surface, a breathtaking, shimmering arch of light stretching across the day and night sky. Every sunrise and every sunset would be a spectacular event of color and light as the sun's rays pass through the fine, icy dust of the rings. It would be a world of constant celestial beauty. There may be a world where the abstract concept of money was never invented. In this gentle reality, society is based not on commerce and acquisition, but on the free and joyful exchange of natural gifts and learned skills. People do what they love, and they share the fruits of their labor freely, knowing that the community will, in turn, share with them. It is a world based on trust, generosity, and the quiet joy of meaningful work. Think of a universe where, at a moment of decision, you chose to take that great trip you have always dreamed of. In that other reality, there is a version of you with a mind full of beautiful memories of distant mountains, of strange and wonderful cities, and of the kindness of strangers. That journey was not a missed opportunity. It was a real and beautiful adventure, and a part of you has lived it. A reality might exist where the human eye evolved to see a slightly broader spectrum of light. In this world, the flowers in a garden, the wings of a butterfly, and the colors of a sunset would be filled with a whole new range of hues that we are unable to imagine. The world would be a place of even deeper and more complex beauty, a visual symphony of colors that we, in our world, are forever blind to. There could be a world where all human architecture is designed to be in deep and perfect harmony with the natural world. Cities are not made of harsh, concrete grids, but are collections of beautiful, organic structures with buildings shaped like graceful shells, leaves, and spiraling flowers. The cities are not built in the landscape, but are grown as a gentle and beautiful part of the landscape. Imagine a universe where the physics of water is slightly different, and rain is not just water, but is a sweet, life-giving nectar-like substance. When this gentle, fragrant rain falls, it makes the flowers and trees burst into instant and glorious bloom. A rainstorm in this world is not a grey and gloomy event, but is a joyful celebration of color, scent, and sudden, beautiful life. A nearby reality might be one where humanity never lost its deep connection with the animal kingdom. In this world, people communicate with specially trained birds who carry messages not as written notes, but as complex and beautiful songs. A message of love would be a beautiful, lyrical melody, and a piece of important news would be a powerful, resonant chorus. It is a world where the air is always filled with the music of meaning. There could be a world where, due to a subtle difference in the physics of light, shadows are not black or grey. Instead, they are filled with a soft, deep, and luminous purple light. The world on a sunny day would be a beautiful and gentle interplay of bright yellows and deep, peaceful purples. The shadows would not be places of darkness, but would be pools of cool, quiet, and beautiful color. These small, gentle, and beautiful differences in these worlds that are so very much like our own are a quiet reminder that our own reality is just one beautiful version of a story that is being told in infinite and wonderful ways. It shows us that the universe is not a single, fixed painting, but an endless gallery of masterpieces, each one a subtle and beautiful variation on a grand and magnificent theme. Now, Imagine a universe where the laws of nature themselves are profoundly different. Picture a world where the force of gravity is much, much weaker. Here, the dominant life forms might be incredibly tall, slender, and graceful beings, with light, hollow bones. They would move not by walking, but by gently floating and drifting through the air, their great, sail-like wings catching the soft, slow breezes of their lightweight world. There might be a universe that is entirely, perfectly two-dimensional. It would be a world of flat shapes, living their lives on a single, vast plane. The beings in this flat land would have no concept of up or down, only of forwards, backwards, and sideways. Their entire reality, their stars, their homes, their very thoughts, would be an intricate and beautiful cosmic drawing on an infinite sheet of paper. The vast, cold, and seemingly empty space between the galaxies might not be empty at all. It might be filled to the brim with these other invisible dimensions, curled up into a space smaller than an atom at every single point. The universe is not empty space dotted with matter. The universe is a rich and complex tapestry of matter and dimensions, a place far more full and far more wondrous than our eyes can perceive. Another gentle and beautiful idea is that of bubble universes. This theory imagines that what we call the universe is just one bubble of stable reality floating in a vast, frothing sea of cosmic foam, a region of space-time that is constantly in a state of chaotic, high-energy expansion. And in this foam, new bubbles, new universes are constantly pinching off and expanding in their own right. Each of these bubble universes could have started with a slightly different set of conditions in its own Big Bang. This could mean that the fundamental laws of physics are slightly different in each bubble. Our universe is one bubble where the laws happen to be just right for stars, planets, and life to form. But there could be countless other bubble universes with strange and beautiful laws of their own, all floating together in that great, silent, cosmic sea. Some of these other universes might be very different from our own. While our universe has been expanding for billions of years, another might have already reached the end of its expansion and is now slowly and gently contracting back to a single point, a quiet and graceful return to the state from which it was born. Another might be perfectly static and unchanging, a universe of eternal, silent stillness. A parallel universe might even exist in the heart of a black hole. According to our current understanding, the laws of physics break down at the singularity, the center of a black hole. Some physicists have speculated that what happens at a singularity is that a piece of our universe buds off, creating a new and baby universe with its own new set of physical laws. Every black hole in our cosmos could be a seed, a doorway to a new and unseen reality. The total energy of all the infinite universes combined might be a perfect, gentle, and absolute zero. Our universe has a huge amount of positive energy in the form of matter and light, but it also has a huge amount of negative energy in the form of gravity. It is possible that these two values perfectly and exactly cancel each other out. The entire multiverse, with all of its sound and fury, might have been created from a state of perfect, peaceful nothingness. A beautiful and complex structure that is, at its heart, a perfect and gentle zero. The fundamental constants of our universe, the precise speed of light, the exact strength of gravity, the specific mass of an electron, seem to be exquisitely fine-tuned for life to exist. If any of these values were even slightly different, our universe would be a sterile and lifeless place. The multiverse explains this by suggesting that there is no fine-tuning. There are an infinite number of universes, and each one has a random set of these constants. We simply find ourselves living in one of the rare ones where the numbers happen to be just right. We live, it seems, in a Goldilocks universe, where the laws and constants of physics are just right for stars to shine, for planets to form, and for life to emerge. The multiverse idea suggests that this is not a miracle. There are countless other universes that are not just right, worlds that are too hot, too cold, too chaotic, or too empty. We are simply living in one of the gentle, beautiful, and lucky ones, a quiet and habitable oasis in an infinite cosmic desert of possibilities. In the end, the idea of a multiverse of parallel universes is not yet a proven scientific fact. It is a beautiful, elegant, and gentle possibility that arises naturally from the deepest and most profound equations that we have written to try and understand our reality. It is a whisper from the heart of mathematics, a hint that our own beautiful cosmos might be just the beginning of a much larger and more wonderful story. These profound and gentle theories suggest that our own reality is not a single, solid and absolute thing. Instead, it is a delicate, shimmering, and beautiful wave in a vast and infinite ocean of possibilities. It is one note in an infinite symphony, one thought in an infinite mind, one dream in an infinite and peaceful slumber. Our universe is one of many, a single precious and beautiful expression of a boundless and unending creativity. Imagine a universe that is almost identical to this one, where you woke up just 5 minutes earlier this morning. Perhaps because of this, you left the house a little sooner, and the quality of the morning light was slightly softer. You saw a particular bird that, in our world, had already flown away. This small change set your day on a slightly different path, a cascade of gentle, different moments and feelings. Somewhere, in a world so close you could almost touch it, a version of you is living a day that is a beautiful, subtle variation of your own, a quiet and gentle echo of your own life. There might be a world in another fold of the great cosmic fabric where your favorite song is almost exactly the same, but has a slightly different melody in the chorus. In that universe, the songwriter, in a moment of inspiration, made a different choice, humming a different tune. And so, a version of your favorite song exists that is both familiar and wonderfully new. It is a comforting thought that even our most beloved creations might have beautiful, alternate expressions in the endless gallery of other worlds. A parallel Earth could exist where the great evolutionary story of our planet took a different turn. Imagine a world where the dominant form of intelligent life evolved not from mammals, but from the patient and communal insects. Picture great, beautiful cities built from woven silk and polished resin, inhabited by gentle, six-legged beings who communicate through a complex language of scents and soft, buzzing harmonies. It would be a world as complex and as full of wonder as our own, but with a beauty that is entirely alien and entirely peaceful. Think of a universe where, at a pivotal moment in your life, you chose a different career, a different path. In that other world, there is a version of you who is living a peaceful and fulfilling but completely different life. Perhaps you are a quiet artisan, a gentle teacher, or a patient gardener. That other life is not a lost dream, but a living, breathing reality for another version of you. And perhaps in that other world, that other you sometimes quietly wonders about the life that you are living here. There could be a world very much like ours, but where humans evolved a natural, symbiotic relationship with a species of beautiful, glowing fungi. In this world, the fungi live on people's skin, emitting a soft, gentle light that changes color with their emotions. Cities at night are not lit by harsh electric lamps, but by the soft, beautiful, and ever-changing glow of 1 billion human beings, each one a small, living lantern, creating a world of profound and gentle beauty. In a nearby universe, the great, slow dance of the continents might have proceeded in a slightly different way. Perhaps the landmass that became Africa drifted a little further north, and the one that became South America a little further east. This would have created new and beautiful mountain ranges, different coastlines, and strange, undiscovered landscapes. There is an entire other Earth with its own unique and breathtaking geography, waiting to be imagined just a whisper away from our own. Perhaps there is a world where humanity never invented the internal combustion engine. In this quieter, cleaner reality, technology evolved along a different path. The great cities are silent, their architecture built around elegant, silent magnetic trams and beautiful, soaring pedestrian bridges. The air is always clean and clear, and the only sounds are the wind, the birds, and the gentle hum of a civilization that chose a more harmonious path. A parallel reality might exist where the great and ancient library of Alexandria was never allowed to burn. In this world, the accumulated knowledge of the classical age was preserved and built upon. Humanity, in this timeline, is perhaps 1,000 years more advanced in its wisdom and its understanding of the universe. It is a world where philosophy, science, and art evolved without that great and tragic interruption. A world of profound and unbroken learning. Imagine a world where, through some small and happy accident of fate, your childhood best friend never moved away. In that reality, you have had a lifetime of shared laughter and quiet support, a friendship that has grown and deepened over all the years. There is a version of you in a world almost indistinguishable from this one, whose heart is full with the warmth of that one beautiful and unbroken connection. A silent and peaceful universe could exist where the laws of physics do not allow for the propagation of sound waves. It would be a world of absolute and profound quiet. Life in this universe would have evolved to communicate not with voices, but perhaps with intricate patterns of colored light, or with a complex and subtle language of touch and scent. It would be a world of deep, unbroken, and beautiful stillness. Think of a world that is a perfect mirror reflection of our own, a world made not of matter, but of antimatter. This universe would look and feel exactly like ours, with anti-stars, anti-planets, and anti-people living their lives in a way that is identical to our own. But if these two worlds were ever to touch, they would gently and completely annihilate each other in a soft, silent flash of pure, beautiful light in another stranger universe. The arrow of time might flow at a different rate, or perhaps, as some theories allow, it could even flow in a different direction. Imagine a world where beings are born old and grow young, their memories not of the past, but of the future. It would be a quiet and contemplative world, where every moment is a gentle and loving farewell to the beautiful experiences that are about to come. A universe could exist that is entirely filled with a warm, dense and breathable ocean with no land and no surface at all. Life in this endless three-dimensional sea would be composed of vast, slow-drifting, continent-sized beings of pure, gentle consciousness and smaller fish-like creatures that swim in the currents of their thoughts. The sky and the sea would be one and the same. There may be a world where life is not based on the flexible chemistry of carbon, but is built upon the more rigid and patient chemistry of silicon. In this world, the dominant life forms would be slow, thoughtful, and incredibly long-lived crystalline beings. Their forests would be vast fields of slowly growing, singing crystals, and their thoughts would be as deep, as clear, and as patient as a perfect, flawless diamond. Imagine a universe where the stars are not distant, fiery points of light. Instead, they are large, soft, cool, and glowing orbs of gentle energy that drift slowly through the cosmos, filling the sky with their beautiful, ever-changing, and pearlescent light. The space between them would not be cold and dark, but would be warm, safe, and filled with a gentle, ambient glow. A reality could exist where consciousness is not held within the small, separate vessels of individual beings. Instead, it exists as a single, unified, and planetary scale mind, like a great, dreaming ocean. Every creature, every plant, and every rock on this world would be a part of this single, vast consciousness, like individual cells in a single great and peaceful body. Think of a universe where there is no such thing as light. It is a world of absolute and gentle darkness. Here, life would have evolved to perceive the world through a complex and incredibly sensitive symphony of other senses. Beings might see the shape of things through a precise sense of vibration, or feel the emotional state of others through their faint and gentle heat. It would be a world known only by its feeling and its sound. A world might exist where thoughts, for a brief moment after they are created, can take on a temporary physical form. A happy thought might appear as a small, shimmering golden cloud that drifts on the air. A peaceful and contemplative thought might appear as a slowly turning blue geometric shape. The air in this world would be filled with a beautiful, silent, and ever-changing display of these gentle, emotional forms. There could be a universe where, in the first moments of the Big Bang, the fundamental forces of nature never separated from each other. In this strange and beautiful reality, all matter would still be a single, unified, jewel-like substance. The entire cosmos would be a single, perfect, and unchanging crystal, a place of absolute order, symmetry, and profound silent and motionless peace. Imagine a reality where the speed of light is much, much slower, perhaps only as fast as a person can walk. In this world, you could watch a sunbeam gently and slowly travel across a room, and you could see the light from a distant event arriving long after the event itself. Time and space would feel more connected, more intimate, and more gentle in this slow light world. A universe could exist where the fundamental direction of gravity is reversed. In this world, things do not fall down, but instead gently fall up. The planets would orbit a central point of emptiness, and the beings on those worlds would live on the inner surfaces of great, hollow spheres, their feet held firmly to the ground above them, looking down into a sky filled with the other. Inner worlds, there may be a world where plants, not animals, are the dominant form of intelligent life. Imagine a planet-wide forest of beings that communicate through a slow, complex and continent-spanning network of root connections, and through the release of beautiful and intricate chemical scents. Their thoughts would be as slow, as deep, and as patient as the growth of a great and ancient tree. Think of a universe that is forever in a state of soft, gentle, and peaceful twilight. It is a world without the harsh glare of full daylight and without the complete darkness of a moonless night. The sky is a constant, beautiful and gentle gradient of soft purples, oranges, and blues. Life in this world would be quiet, contemplative, and perfectly adapted to a state of perpetual, beautiful dusk. A reality might exist where the force of electricity does not exist. Instead, life and technology are based on a gentle and subtle form of biological magnetism. Beings would communicate through magnetic pulses, and their cities would be built from living, magnetic materials that gently and silently hold themselves together. It would be a world of invisible, silent, and graceful forces. A universe could be made not of matter or of energy, but entirely of pure sound. It would be a place of perfect living vibration and harmony. The beings in this world would be complex, self-aware chords and melodies, and their existence would be a single, vast, and infinitely beautiful symphony. To live in this world would be to be a note in a song of cosmic and perfect peace. There might be a world where memory is perfect, infallible, and nothing is ever forgotten. Every moment of a person's life is held in their mind with perfect clarity. It would not be a world of regret, but a place of deep, quiet, and profound reflection, where the lessons of the past are always present, and life is lived with a deep and gentle wisdom, informed by every experience that has ever happened. Imagine a universe where life evolved a sixth fundamental sense, the ability to directly and passively perceive the gentle, flowing river of time. Beings in this world could feel the past resting gently behind them and sense the shimmering, branching possibilities of the future lying ahead. They would live their lives with a profound sense of peace and perspective, feeling themselves as a part of a great, flowing, and eternal now. A world could exist where emotions like compassion and empathy are not just feelings, but are tangible physical forces like gravity or light. In this world, a kind thought could literally help to lift a burden from another person. A feeling of shared love could generate a soft, warm, and visible light. It would be a world where kindness is not just a virtue, but is a fundamental and powerful law of physics. There might be a universe where everything is in a constant, slow, and graceful state of metamorphosis. Nothing has a fixed form. A mountain might slowly and beautifully transform into a cloud, which then rains down to become a gentle, flowing river. The beings in this world would be a part of this endless, peaceful dance of transformation, their own forms as fluid and as beautiful as their ever-changing thoughts. Think of a reality where sleep is not a solitary and private activity. Instead, it is a time when all of the consciousness on the planet gently merges into a single, beautiful, and shared dream. Every night, all of life would join together in the creation of a collective work of art, a dream of such complexity and beauty that it would form the basis of their waking art, philosophy, and science. A universe could exist where the only inhabitants are vast, slow, patient, and gentle crystalline beings that live for eons. They would be as large as mountains, and their thoughts would be the slow, geological process of their own crystal growth. Their civilization would be one of deep, silent, and profound communion, a society built on a timescale that makes the lives of stars seem brief and fleeting. The science of quantum physics tells us that even in a perfect vacuum, in a space that is completely empty, there is a constant, gentle fizz of virtual particles popping in and out of existence. This is sometimes thought of as particles borrowing a tiny amount of energy from the future to exist for a fleeting moment. Another gentler view is that these are real particles, borrowing their existence for a moment from a nearby, parallel universe, a quiet and constant, microscopic exchange between the worlds. Sometimes, you might have a dream that feels more real, more vivid, and more coherent than your waking reality. It is a dream that you remember with perfect clarity, a dream that feels like a true and lived memory. Perhaps in these rare and special moments, your consciousness has not just glimpsed another world, but has fully, gently, and temporarily shifted its focus to another branch of your own existence. For a few peaceful sleeping hours, you have truly walked in the shoes of your other self. The beautiful, complex, and symmetrical patterns of cymatics, the phenomenon where sand on a vibrating plate will arrange itself into intricate shapes, might be a small visual echo of how the universes themselves take their form. Just as the sand is organized by the frequency of the sound, so too are the brains of the multiverse organized by their own unique, fundamental, and resonant vibrations. The universe, it seems, is a pattern of beautiful, harmonious, and cosmic sound, the moments of pure, uncaused, and overwhelming joy that we sometimes feel, a sudden wave of peace and well-being that seems to have no source, could be a gentle and beautiful form of emotional bleed-through. In a nearby universe, another version of yourself might be experiencing a moment of great and profound happiness, a wedding, the birth of a child, a moment of deep, spiritual peace, and for a second, the sheer, beautiful force of that emotion is felt by you, a shared and joyful echo across the worlds, the faint, high-pitched ringing sound that you sometimes hear in your ears in a quiet room. A sound that doctors cannot explain could be more than just a trick of the nerves. It could be your own delicate biological nervous system for a fleeting moment, picking up on the fundamental resonant frequency of a nearby parallel reality. You are, for a second, hearing the gentle, background hum of another world, another room in the great and silent house of existence. the idea of a collective unconscious, a deep and ancient well of shared myths, symbols, and archetypes that all of humanity can access, is a beautiful psychological concept. The multiverse gives it a gentle physical reality. Perhaps this great reservoir of stories is a psychic space that is fed by the experiences, the dreams, and the wisdom of all of our parallel selves across all of the infinite timelines. It is the shared library of every human experience that has ever been possible. Perhaps our universe and all of its quiet, shimmering neighbors are not separate and isolated entities. They may all be part of a single, vast, interconnected, and conscious system. The faint, gentle connections, the whispers and the echoes that we sometimes feel might be the thoughts of this great, cosmic, and multiverse-scale mind. We are not just in a universe. We are in a thought in the mind of a gentle and infinite God. The gentle and comforting idea of a multiverse means that no good and beautiful possibility is ever truly and finally lost. Every path of kindness, every moment of grace, every choice made from love continues to exist and to unfold in its own complete and beautiful universe. The cosmos, it seems, has a deep and profound love for all of its good and gentle stories, and it preserves every single one of them somewhere in the infinite branching corridors of reality. There is a universe where, at a difficult moment, you said the perfect, kind, and healing thing at the exact right time. And in that universe, that single, gentle act of grace set in motion a chain of beautiful and positive events. That perfect, gentle moment was not a missed opportunity. It is a real and living memory for another, happy version of yourself. In another beautiful and nearby reality, a loved one whom you have lost in this world is still living a long, happy, healthy, and peaceful life. They are in this moment perhaps sitting in a quiet room or walking in a gentle garden, and they are happy. The love you have for them is a real quantum connection, a gentle entanglement that spans the thin veil between the worlds. A quiet and comforting truth that love is never truly ended. The multiverse suggests that even our smallest, quietest, and most seemingly insignificant acts of kindness can have a profound and beautiful consequence. In the moment of that kind act, a new and beautiful universe may branch into existence, a reality whose entire future is made just a little bit brighter and a little bit warmer by that one simple and gentle choice. You are in every moment the quiet and unassuming creator of new and better worlds. There is a universe somewhere in the great and peaceful library of worlds, where humanity, at every single pivotal moment in its history, chose the path of peace over the path of conflict. In this world, there have been no wars, no borders, and no fear. It is a planet of gentle gardens, of silent, beautiful cities, and of a single, unified, and loving human family. A quiet and beautiful testament to the very best of our potential. The gentle thought that every possible outcome is realized in some universe means that, in a deep and profound way, there are no wrong choices, only different paths. The life you are living is one beautiful and valid story, and all the other lives you could have lived are also beautiful and valid stories, being played out by other versions of you. This can bring a deep and gentle sense of peace, a letting go of regret for the paths not taken. Somewhere in the infinite, shimmering and beautiful library of worlds, there is a version of you that has achieved all of your wildest, most beautiful, and most gentle dreams. There is a version of you who is a great artist, a version of you who is a profound healer, and a version of you who has found a deep and lasting inner peace. All of your highest potentials are not just potentials. They are living, breathing realities. The multiverse is a quiet and gentle testament to the infinite creativity and the boundless abundance of existence. It suggests that the cosmos is not a frugal or a limited place, but is a place of endless and joyful creation, a reality that loves to explore every single possible expression of itself. The universe is not just a single beautiful painting. It is an infinite and ever-expanding gallery of beautiful art. Knowing that countless other versions of you exist, living out all the other possible lives, can make you feel less alone in the great silent cosmos. You are part of a vast and infinite family of selves, an endless network of your own potential, all connected by the shared, quiet, and quantum roots of your own existence. You are a single leaf on a vast and beautiful tree of yous. There is a universe where a beautiful species of animal that went extinct on our Earth, like the passenger pigeon or the golden toad, survived and thrived. In that other world, the skies are still filled with their graceful flight, and the forests are still home to their gentle presence. No beautiful form of life, it seems, is ever truly and finally erased from the great cosmic book of being. The multiverse is a gentle and comforting reminder that our own reality, with all of its troubles and all of its joys, is not the only story being told. It is just one chapter in an infinite book. This perspective can help to soften our own anxieties and fears, allowing us to see our lives as a part of a much grander, much more hopeful, and much more beautiful cosmic play. The idea of many worlds can bring a deep and profound sense of peace. It allows for a gentle letting go of the painful question of what if, and an acceptance of what is. We can rest in the quiet and comforting knowledge that what if is also real, is also true, and is being lived out in its own beautiful and complete way in another nearby and peaceful room of reality. There is a universe where every single mistake you have ever made, every misstep and every stumble turned out to be a secret and beautiful stepping stone to an unexpected and wonderful success. In that reality, your life has been a story of effortless grace, where every seeming failure was just the universe gently and lovingly guiding you to an even more beautiful and perfect destination. The cosmic microwave background radiation, the faint, gentle, and ancient afterglow of our own Big Bang, fills our entire universe. Perhaps if our instruments were sensitive enough, we could detect within this soft and ancient light the faint, overlapping, and even more ancient shadows of the births of other nearby universes, the gentle echoes of other cosmic dawns. There is a version of our beautiful Earth that was never harmed by pollution or by carelessness. It is a perfect, pristine, and gentle garden world. The rivers run perfectly clear, the air is perfectly clean, and humanity lives in a state of perfect, sustainable, and loving harmony with the planet. This world is not a lost dream. It is a living, breathing, and beautiful reality. The multiverse is like a great, cosmic, and gentle safety net. It seems to ensure that life, consciousness, and beauty, in some form, somewhere, will always continue no matter what happens in any single universe. It is a profound and deep reassurance that existence itself is resilient, hopeful, and is destined to continue its beautiful, creative, and gentle unfolding forever. Somewhere, in the infinite and silent library of worlds, there is a silent universe where the only thing that exists is a single, perfect, beautiful, and peaceful thought. It is a universe of pure quiet and contemplative consciousness, a world made of nothing but a single, gentle, and loving idea, held in a state of eternal and perfect peace. Thinking about the multiverse can make our own problems and our own worries seem smaller and more manageable. Placed against the vast, infinite, and gentle backdrop of countless other worlds and countless other possibilities, our own concerns can soften, their sharp edges gently dissolving into the grand, peaceful, and cosmic scheme of things. It is a perspective that brings a deep and gentle peace. The idea of the multiverse suggests that the universe is not a single, lonely solo being played in the dark. Instead, it is a vast, beautiful, and infinite choir, singing a countless number of different, beautiful, and harmonious melodies all at once. Our own reality is one of the beautiful voices in that choir, and we are all contributing our own small, gentle note to the grand and cosmic song. There is a universe where you and every single person you care about is safe, is happy, and is living in a state of deep and gentle peace. That reality is not a fantasy or a wish. It is a real, tangible, and beautiful place. And the love that you feel for them is a real connection. A gentle and unbreakable thread that connects your heart to theirs across all the infinite, shimmering, and beautiful worlds. The multiverse is the ultimate and most gentle expression of hope. It is the quiet, scientific whisper that everything you can imagine, everything you can dream of is not only possible, but is actually truly and beautifully happening somewhere. The universe is a great and gentle machine for turning every single possibility into a quiet and gentle reality. This beautiful idea gently replaces the fear of a single, final, and inescapable fate with the deep and profound comfort of infinite, branching and hopeful possibilities. It tells us that life is not a narrow single track, but is a vast, open, and beautiful garden of forking paths, and every single path leads to a real and beautiful destination. Somewhere, in a world that is so very close to your own, there is a version of you who is, at this very moment, lying in a quiet room, looking up at their own night sky, and gently and peacefully wondering about a universe where you exist. And you are connected in that shared and gentle moment of wonder, a quiet and beautiful mirror to your own quiet thoughts. The multiverse is a quiet, cosmic, and gentle reassurance that in the end, every single story, including your own, has a beautiful and peaceful ending somewhere. No sadness is final, no loss is absolute. Every tear is balanced by a smile in another world, and every goodbye is balanced by a gentle and loving hello. The universe, in its infinite compassion, ensures that all is, in the end, well. And so the idea of parallel worlds is not a frightening or a chaotic one. It is a deep and gentle lullaby. It is a quiet and constant whisper from the heart of reality, a reassurance that you are a part of something infinitely vast, infinitely creative, infinitely loving, and infinitely hopeful. You are a single beautiful note in the most beautiful and endless song ever sung. And so our gentle journey through the infinite library of worlds comes to a quiet and peaceful close. Our wandering through the shimmering corridors of possibility now begins to settle into a deep and profound stillness. We drifted through the endless, branching paths of what could have been, and imagined worlds of soft and beautiful difference. We listened for the faint whispers and gentle echoes that might connect us to all of our other selves. We found a quiet comfort in the thought of a cosmos that wastes no dreams, a reality that holds every single good and gentle possibility in a safe and loving embrace. Just as a countless number of universes are born from a single, quiet moment, a countless number of peaceful dreams can be born from your own stillness now. You are, in this moment of rest, a universe of boundless and peaceful possibility. All of the gentle whispers of all the other worlds are converging here into the simple and profound peace of your own deep rest. So now let go of all the branches and just be the quiet, peaceful root. Let yourself drift into the deep, dark and gentle space from which all worlds and all dreams are born. There is nothing left to explore, nothing left to wonder. There is only rest now, a deep and boundless peace. Good night.